After the series of discussions, deliberations, postponement, reschedulings, even decisions of the Constitutional Court of Russian Federation on the legality of the decision to change the date of the parliamentary elections in Russia, finally the date for elections to the State Duma of the Federal Assembly of the Russian Federation been scheduled for the Sunday 19th of September. And of course, as Russia considers the Crimea the part of its territory, Russians are preparing to conduct those elections on the territory of Crimea as well. It creates, from my point of view, let's say an ideal trap that Ukraine would need to use against the Russian Federation. Let me remind you one thing, that during the process of illegal annexation of Crimea back in the 2014, the Russian Federation established a very questionable legal scheme or system of applying Russian citizenship to inhabitants of Crimea, and of course almost 100% of them were Ukrainians by their nationality. So the Russians decided that for those who are willing to stay as Ukrainian citizens, they need to confirm their citizenship. Very questionable and doubtful legal decision. And they even established for the whole Crimea, for the population, with a population of more than 2 million people, they established 4 special centers where Crimeans were supposed to appear in person to submit some papers that they are willing to stay as Ukrainian citizens. Of course, 4 centers for such a large territory as the Crimean Peninsula wasn't enough, and just probably some 30–40,000 of Ukrainians has used this opportunity to confirm their citizenship. The rest of the population of Crimea, Russians declared to be Russian citizens. So they kind of applied some medieval approach that if you're acquiring the territory, the inhabitants are belonging to you. So right now, what the situation with the laws in Russian Federation? According to the law providing the legal scheme for elections to the State Duma, only Russian citizens can be elected and even participate in elections as, let's say, members of the different electoral bodies. So it's directly, basically provided by Russian laws that all those holders of dual or the second citizenship or another citizenship, except Russians, they are not allowed to take part in the elections. So. But at the same time, as we see it right now, the vast majority of the people in Crimea electing the members of the parliament, participating in the electoral bodies, and also being registered as the candidates for the State Duma to be elected as the members of the Russian parliament, they are the holders of Ukrainian citizenship. In reality, we know that out of 109 deputies officially registered in Crimea, 88 might be Ukrainian citizens, or most likely are Ukrainian citizens. So there will be just 4 deputies elected from the constituency districts in Crimea, 1 in Sebastopol and 3 in the rest of Crimea, as well as 17 of 22 political parties of Russian Federation. They created a special regional party lists for Crimea. So some number of the members of their, beside those 4, some number of Russian deputies will be elected from Crimea as well.